We are throwing them the hell out of our country. We have no apologies, and we're moving forward very fast.
Less what happens to them in Jamaica. Let's get rid of unwanted people like this. Isn't it about time we stood up and started looking after our own people?
So does anybody have any doubt that these people are pushing these people into the United States to destabilize us in the region? So yeah, we're looking for people like this, and we want to get them out of the United States. Absolutely. Card holder, you're not illegally in the United States. You're a green card holder, you are legally in the United States. What the president has said, and I don't know how anybody can disagree with this, every country in the world has immigration laws. And immigration laws, if you don't enforce them, you don't have immigration.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from now. The US government is still deporting legal migrants who come from the Caribbean and in Africa. This is after even the US State Secretary Marco Rubio visited the Caribbean to talk about these matters. Now, the question is, what did they discuss if at all they have not stopped the deportation of legal migrants who are in the US? Some of them are being associated with crime and gangs, of which they have not been proved guilty by the courts of justice. So let's watch this video, then really have a quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Caribbean cousin in America, you know, and I know, ICE is on the move. So, my advice to all my Caribbean cousins in America who is undocumented, and you know Trump is on a different level, and you know Trump signed executive orders to gather all the undocumented immigrants. So if you know all that, what is your next step? Your next step is do not wait for ICE to collect you.
All right. So for all of my Jamaicans, them who there in America right now, you know, so it's a crazy time in America right now. Like everything just a go off. Everything just a go off. For all of my Jamaican people, them who there in America and there and straight in the country, and you know, say you not have no paperwork there, no that. Even if you have paperwork and stuff like that go on, you don't need to panic, right? Because they might deport everybody once they catch you. If they catch you, then you're going in a problem. Yes. But if you stay low under the radar, then you know, out of sight, out of mind. Like nobody na go look for people from house to house and from door to door and that down. Yes, if you have a job, you have to go be worried about your job because they're going to places like them not go to places. You know, they're looking for criminals mostly. So if you ever get in trouble with the law at any point at all, if police ever get involved in nothing for you with your name on paper or anything like that, yes, you gotta be very extremely cautious and concerned because they're coming for you. You don't know if your name is on that paper. But for the people that who just there, just live their daily life, day to day, go in and out, work and, you know, just go under their thing, stay low, be vigilant. But I'm not make you stress you so much. I'm not make you get to your head so much. You know, you got supermarket, nobody got supermarket that much now. Go to the supermarket, go to the shopping, go to the grocery shopping. Buy online if you can. And when you can't, if you can't ask somebody to buy for you, buy for you. Nobody with the supermarket business, nobody with they going out and the shopping here. And it's just go last under one rock, basically. And if you got your job, boy, I know a lot of just a lot of living situation, and just be very careful. Just be very careful because even though they're raiding business places and them are raid, like them are go after criminal, if you get caught in the fire or you get caught in the scene, then you gonna become a part of that. You understand? So lay low, don't stress yourself too much, just be cautious, be vigilant, and just listen. All right?
And the Jamaican government is saying it's not necessarily under the new order by Trump, but it was a monthly routine maintenance arrangement that had already been in the works. So apparently every month there's a group of people that are deported back to Jamaica. And so this falls under that category. However, it's no different than what he wants to be doing, right? Like, he's made it clear. With this group, some of them have been processed and released back to their families, and some are still being detained by the Jamaican authorities, maybe because there was some further investigation that had to be done on the Jamaican end before they're released and processed, but also maybe because it's a group of, criminals. They probably fled Jamaica to the United States. And using Courtney Wilson for an example, as I said, 33 years living in the United States, often they have established themselves. They have homes, they have careers, they have families. They've made babies in the United States. Under the Biden administration, you were able to get away with living illegally for that many years, but Trump is not joking around. So even those who are now trying to scramble to get their documentation, he has said a resounding no, you're going back. So the gravy train is over. Sad, but true. And it's unfortunate. You have to go through the right channels if you want to leave your country. Whether it's bad conditions or not, there's a process. This is not going to be good for a lot of people who have been living illegally in the United States. Because we've also heard reports that Trump is trying to end the birthright citizenship as well. So it won't even matter, potentially, if you have children that were born there. So what does that mean for the thousands upon thousands of Jamaicans that are living illegally in the United States currently? It means that you're on your way back home. But to those who have left criminal activity and came to the United States to continue with criminal activity, or even if you're living well, but illegally, you're on your way back. So the first plane of deportees for 2025 landed in Normandy International Airport in Kingston, Jamaica. It had about 51 deportees on the plane, including 3 criminals, one of which goes by the name of Courtney Wilson, and he had actually been living in the United States for 33 years.
Get the dirtbags off these streets.
If you were denied a non-immigrant visa several times, before you submit another application, stop. Take a break. It's very important that you determine why you were denied and figure out what you have to do to fix that. There are about 5 common reasons why you were denied. The first one could be because you're just not establishing that you have sufficient ties to Jamaica. The second reason is maybe you're not filling out that form correctly. The third reason is that you have a criminal past. The fourth reason is that you have misrepresented yourself on the documents. You have made a statement that was not true. The fifth reason is that you may not have been presenting yourself well at the interview. After you're denied, it's important that you keep that green form. On the green form, it may tell you that you need a waiver, or it'll just state that you were denied because you could not establish that you have sufficient ties. It's important you keep that form because when you consult with an attorney, the attorney will then be able to guide you. It's also important that you remember some of the questions that they asked you at the interview. When you have a consultation with an immigration attorney, a U.S. immigration attorney, they then could be able to kind of say, well, this is probably why you were denied, and this is what you need to work on. In some cases, individuals who have committed misrepresentation, or those who have a criminal past, or those who overstayed their visa may need a waiver. Those individuals will certainly have to seek the assistance of an attorney. So once you're denied, please don't rush and submit a new application. Just take some time, try to contact the U.S. immigration attorney to determine what the issue is so that you can have a chance of having a more successful application the next time you apply.
I know a lot of people be like, when them go to embassy for go get them visa and them get turned down, them get the green card instead of the white paper. Them be like, oh, that girl never like me. I'm say, yo, me never want to go to her. I'm say, that boy they never like me. I'm mind tell me not to go to him, and bullshit. Bullshit. A lot of times when people get denied visa at the American embassy, it due to the fact that social media have a lot to do with a yes or no from them. On social media, some things one of the probably even remember about, one of the posts are say, remember, when you do this application, when you put in this application to the US embassy, them run on the profile, and what if you say them in this run about now, do not, all for people working there, them run all on the file, them run everybody file, them look who no associate with, You see me stuff one might say and lick out against the American government or lick out against that set of people there who align with a lot have to do with stuff, and whether we get it or not. So we go in and say we go blame a person and say, oh, that boy them never like me, and it not have nothing to do with that. Them not have it, them take a oath and them have to stand by that oath. Them can't discriminate, them can't, a lot of stuff them can't do. And then you think them are gonna risk them job, them good paying job, because come on. Them do them due diligence and make sure so them run them background checks, and then when you come, and then a lot of times too, when you come up, you don't even know if you don't know if to talk to people. A lot of these people go embassy, them don't know if to talk to people. Dress code. Sometimes some simple stuff, but you talk about other person they never like you, or the man know you, the woman know you, or the man for just get up and don't like you. Come on, man, don't stop talking crap. A lot of these times when you get denied visa American embassy, are the way you talk, or you adjust yourself, or you communicate. You can't go to embassy and go talk to people like say, you not talk to a friend out the road. You have to know how to adjust yourself. You have to know, as I say, you have to know how to dress, the attire. All of them stuff that people don't approve from outside when you stand up in a line. America that we're not dealing with, because the embassy that Jamaica feel like say an American ground on the depend. That ground they belongs to America, and once you step on the ground, them start watching you. You see me? So a lot of stuff go into play, and without we not talk about that man you like it, that woman you like it. Bullshit.
Just imagine living in an household right now and you are the only one when I safe. I live with a US citizen husband and a US citizen daughter. Me is a total alien. However, I'm a citizen of Jamaica. Yeah. So if I so pop up now and knock on the door, and them say, alright, then somebody out of the house will have to go down. I don't think I will go down. Me, I go down because I have the green card. Listen, for the people them out there, I want to have on a green card, I want to walk with on a green card. ID alone now go save we. We have to walk with our green card. A little piece of paper there, or the little card. If your card expire, photocopy the paper and walk with it. Because it's sticky out here. Right now, if me here one knock on my door and them says ice, I guess you not tell me who me a send God the door. Ali me a send God the door. Cause them not send she go nowhere. Me a send Ali God the door. Or our father. Me not going to the door. But fun and joke aside though, guys, being at the wrong place at the wrong time right now, it is scary. Mind you, I say come knock on your door and they're asking for people who no longer live in your household, or maybe if it's a case where you're living in an apartment and the person was living where you're living but they're no longer living there, they're gonna ask you like, do you know XYZ? If you don't know XYZ, you just don't know XYZ. If it's a case where a family member came in the US and they used your address to get here and them never go back down, they're no longer living in them not living in your household anymore, maybe they're living in the next state or whatever the case may be, them are gonna come and them are gonna ask. Simple. You don't know, they're no longer living there. Them are gonna go ahead again and them are ask you for your documents and whatever. If you're straight, just give them a document. If you don't straight, go through the back window. I mean, everybody come in the US for fight life. Some people lucky enough to get through in a timely manner. Some people still try seek You know? That clearance. Whatever the case may be, whatever situation you're in right now, guys, just stay prayed up. If you're working, but you're working under the, you know what I'm saying? Try your best to avoid the bus. You see the public transportation, you see the restaurant them, you know where them know where them a target. You just have to stay low key right now. Who is that? Ice? No, but on a serious note, guys, I'm staying on the house if I don't have to come out and I don't come out. Cause Ice not around. It is serious to the point, guys. I have a trip coming up in April and that cancel, dismantle and everything. Cause guess what? Me now go down and can't come back up. They might take people off a plane at the land country, they must send you back. If you don't have the document, then for show them on the spot. And even when you have the document for show them on the spot, them have you in a room for hours, on top of hours, on top of hours. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not an American citizen. I'm a Jamaican citizen. I have the rights in the country. So, I do what I have to do. If you don't straight or illegal, undocumented, stay off our road. Cause this serious. These were Donald Trump exact words. And I quote, "This is the biggest deportation."
Into it, I say, yeah, I saw it go. But I hope the number no climb. And the reason for that, maybe 99% of those people have nothing back home. Maybe some of them never built a home and them never do any form of investment at Jamaica. Some of them maybe don't even have an account. Some of them, when them come through the airport, whether in a Kingston or a Montego Bay, they don't know where to turn. You overs. So, this is not a joke thing. Mr. Andrew Holness, you see some of them people here where Mr. Trump has sent back to Jamaica when I have nothing. Give them some land, you know. Give them some land, make them farm, make them plant it up and plant food so that they can survive. You don't know, like we said, no, we're no better than yard. Seeing? And here what me now. You see the ones them where I go get deported where live in a like inner city area, in a corporate area, in some concrete jungle. That is a thing, you know. If you know, say, you go back in a concrete jungle and you don't have nothing. You don't have no money at all. You never have a house. You know, say, you come from the community there. Maybe you head off there. How that will work out? But anyway, tricks in trade and matches box in business. So when me say now, Mr. Andrew Holness, give some of them people their some land when them reach at Jamaica. They go plant food and chop bamboo and then something there and build up house and round thick and all them type of thing. And who can afford some plywood, buy some plywood and make them start new. Seeing? And farm up the place and do what you do. So you can have food and can live and survive. You know what I mean? Instead of going to Jamaica and you don't have no food, you don't have no money, you don't have no place to live, then how you going to survive? You know what I mean? It's a serious thing. So, me I advise some of the people that are going to get deported who don't have nothing at all and don't know where to go when them reach. Get piece of land. Chop some round thick and bamboo and them thing there. Build up a little house. And farm up the place and plant food and vegetables. This is the time when the eye them have to go get creative. Yeah, man. So, that's how it go. Them say them a do them thing, them say them a send back people home. So it go. See? So Mr. Andrew Holness, give the people them some land when them come to Jamaica. Make them farm it up and plant it. All who want land when they go to Jamaica. See, maybe some of them have land already. But if you don't know none,
Top 2 reasons your tourist visa B2 gets denied. Tourist visa B2 are essentially for individuals seeking temporary entry into a foreign country for leisure or a tourism purpose. However, visa applications can be denied for various reasons. The top 2 common reasons for the B2 visa denial often revolves around 1. Insufficient ties to your home country. One primary reasons for B2 visa denial is the perceived lack of strong ties to the applicant's home country. Immigration authorities want to ensure that tourists will return home after their authorized stay. If an applicant cannot demonstrate substantial connections such as employment, family, or property ownership, it may raise concern about the likelihood of overstaying the visa. So 2, financial capability concerns. Another significant factor leading to the B2 visa denial is insufficient evidence for financial capabilities. Authorities need assurance that the applicant can financially support their stay, covering expenses like accommodation, transportation, and daily living. Inadequate proof of funds or uncertainties about the ability to afford the trip can result in your visa rejection. It is important for applicants to carefully address these issues, providing great documentation to strengthen their case and improve their chances for success.
Book a plane ticket and go home willingly. That is my advice to you. Because Caribbean cousin, you don't want to end up in ICE custody. Because Trump is willing to send all you to Guantanamo Bay. And when you reach over there, you will not see the light of day. So Caribbean cousin, if you could leave America, go home. Home is different. We can survive there now. You know, we don't like to be shamed. So I'll you go home with your head up high instead of you being escorted, maybe by ICE on a plane or end up in Guantanamo Bay. Go home, my Caribbean cousins.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from. Now, I did watch a video of the Jamaican government warmly welcoming the United States Secretary Marco Rubio, and they were discussing a couple of things, and that included the visas of Jamaicans who live in the US. It included the Cuba Jamaica relationship and all that stuff. But it all not ended there, because we still see a lot of Jamaicans still being deported, and together with the Venezuelans and the Haitians, Jamaicans are still facing the same threat in the US. And you do ask yourself, what was the importance of that visit? What was the purpose of Marco Rubio visiting Jamaica and the Caribbean, if at all they were not going to sit down and negotiate on how Jamaicans and the Caribbeans are going to live in the US without being interfered with? Now, in the recent move, it must be noted that Trump and the whole administration is not only deporting illegal immigrants, but also it has actually been targeting some legal migrants who are in the US, and those who have been active in activism and all these other stuff, like those who are fighting for human rights and all that. And you can really hear from Marco Rubio's tone that he was saying they are not going to spare anyone who comes from the Caribbean and who is going to participate in activism in the US or human rights activists. Now, this is actually a new other stuff, because we've all been seeing many people participating in all this, because I do not see a threat when people are talking about human rights, when people are talking about some things that humans really need to live, like freedom to speech, like, and all other this stuff, like rights to life, and all these things that really matter for a good country or society. Now, it is very sad to see the US very actively trying in its own capacity to actually deport Jamaicans, deport Caribbeans, deport Africans, and all these immigrants. And I've said this and not this, some are legal migrants, not illegal, but legal. They have legal documentation to be in the US. They have green cards and all this other stuff that someone needs to stay and work in the US. Now, the main question tonight, or the main question today, should be at what cost should our people remain in our countries? What should our governments do that our population should not be running away from our countries? It is enough to say that we've been seeing how Black Americans, we've been seeing how the African diaspora, those who were taken from Africa during the slave trade period, have been treated. Now, you must remember from 2015, 2016, when the Black Lives Matter movement started and what it was agitating for. So, if at all we have to remember this thing, if at all we have to talk about the unity of Black folks, if at all we want to make ourselves better, then we must start from where it all began. If we want to talk about what has gone wrong, why is Donald Trump really focusing on maybe trying to deport some groups of people, and in this essence of making America great again? We ask questions, we ask ourselves, there are people living in our own countries in Africa. There are people living in the Caribbean, they are doing business in the Caribbean, they are living in South Africa. But at all, when we want to initiate, when we want to do justice to our people, because if you go to countries like South Africa, you're going to realize that 70% of the land, 70 to 75% of the land in South Africa is being owned by the white minority, the Boers, those who come from the Netherlands. And if at all the government want to initiate policies that are going to make everyone equal in South Africa, you've always seen Elon Musk on the other hand, and you've always seen the US government trying to give sanctions. In the latest move, South Africa was trying to actually initiate land raids and try to do a process in which they want to know how everyone acquired the land, because it is crazy someone owning 1,000 acres while someone else, a Black South African, is a squatter somewhere, or they do not have land. They live as foreigners in their own countries. So it is very sad to see this. And when Africans or Black people, Black countries want to rise against oppressions, want to rise against all these Western countries' policies, it has always been a problem. But when our people go to seek jobs in their countries, they receive harsh treatment, they receive harsh receptions, and all these other stuff that we've been seeing online. When they have been actually deporting immigrants from the US, and I've seen people who have lived in the US for almost 30 to 40 years being deported, Blacks being deported. I'm not saying this in a bad way. How will someone who have lived in 30 years in the US, who have been having voting rights, who has been voting and all doing all this other stuff, they own property, and you ask yourself, how are they owning property? How are they eligible to vote if they were not citizens of this country? It is a sad thing right now to watch how things are unfolding in the US. And this should be a wake-up call to all the Caribbean leaders and to all African leaders that The only place where we are accepted is in our countries. And there is need for us to make sure that our countries are working. The systems in our countries are working. If at all we want to change the narrative, if at all we want to change the story has always been black people being oppressed, right? And black folks crying to the white folks for help and all this other stuff for grants, you know. But we say we want to change the story. And the story is the black people should unite. The black people around the world should unite. For real, for real. It is time for us to acknowledge the unity of black folks. And if at all we assume that we are not going to unite, if at all we are not going to take the words of Martin Luther King serious, if at all we are not going to take the words of Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey serious, we are going to be in a serious problems, because it is the division of black people that has made them the way they are today. We are crying for justice just because we have not been united. They came to Africa with the Bible, and they were successful in dismantling the unity of black folks. They meddled in the African affairs. And how much did we give in? We gave it all. We gave them our all. They sent some of our brothers and sisters into slavery. Until today, our leaders in Africa are not talking about that. They are still focusing on enacting foreign policies in Africa. You go to African countries, they are using foreign draft policies from the UK, from the US, from the White House, from Washington. So there is need for us to start a movement that is going to help black folks unite. It is the only way we are going to save the Caribbean, Africa, and the whole diaspora. It is time for us to acknowledge that the division that has been existing in amongst ourselves is whatever has made us so weak, that Donald Trump can just wake up in one day and decide to deport legal immigrants who are blacks, and they are trying to associate blacks with crime. And you ask yourself, where is crime the top? Actually, if you try to look at the statistics, they're trying to twist them to make Africa look bad. But in real sense, crimes are very high in the Western countries. Southern America and some other parts of the European countries, it is so high. Like there is a time it was 10 to 12 people. The mass killing of people was happening in the US. You look, it was happening in El Salvador and all these other countries. Those countries are not in Africa, right? Those countries are in their regions. So it is so sad that they're trying to actually trying to associate black folks, the black youth, with crime and gangs. So it is time for us to rise above oppression. It is time for us to rise above all these things that are happening. Thank you so much, and may you have a really good time. Let's unite black folks.